We are righteous, we are worthy, we are free. Those are beautiful words, and we will keep those in mind even when we don't hear this song on Sundays. All right, well, here we are, righteous and worthy and free, in space and time. And today, as we know, not just because I mentioned it, but because we're paying attention to time in space, that today is the last Sunday in the 5 months of Sundays in July. Ooh, and it's a cool one. It's a beautiful day. It's a nice way to end July. Now, July may have seemed to us to speed by like a shooting star and with all the heat like a shooting star on fire. Or it may have seemed to slide along at a snail's pace. Or some way in between both of those extremes. But either way, it's true. It's true for us because how life seems to us is individually up to us. Doesn't matter how it seems to anybody else, it's our truth. It's our experience of life. What we perceive as life is what we individually believe life to be. It may seem to be done unto us, but life is done for us as we believe. And that doneness for us as we believe becomes our experience of life. Whether we believe it or not, or it seems we're imagining or not, it's the way it goes. In the way of the heart, we read these words of Jeshua. I have said to you many times that the world you see is nothing more than the effect of the thoughts you have held within your mind. Through the intentional or unintentional command and direction of our individual mind, like a 3D movie on a screen, we perceive in the world around us images and projections of the thoughts we hold within our own mind. We're like the IMAX, three-dimensional. That's why it's possible, and the only reason it's possible for us to change our thinking and actually change our life experiences. If it wasn't happening in our head, we could think what we wanted to think and nothing would happen around us, but it does. Now, when we talk about ourselves, when we talk about someone else, when we talk about anything in the world or even beyond the world, we're revealing the contents of our own mind. We're talking about the world as we see it. We're talking about ourselves as we see ourselves, and someone else as we see that one, and the world around us and everything in it as we see it. We're the only experiencer of the life we're living because we're the only one who is the self living it. No one is us but us. We are a unique being in all of creation. Each of us, you and me, we're all unique in this universe in which we live. The good news is that we're also the decider of how we want to be the experiencer in our life. There's not anyone else, anywhere else, who can decide how we'll experience anything. They may want to, but we can only experience what we experience. It's up to us and us alone and the whole universe. because the power of the universe is backing us up individually. Now, it's good, as they say, to dance as if no one's watching. But it's a really good idea for us to think as if the whole universe is listening. As we talk about every Sunday, and as a good thing to remember every day and every moment in the day through the law of attraction. What we emit vibrationally becomes our experience, a response to the vibrations of our individual thoughts. We attract, whether we want to or not, matching experiences that will prove to us, if we're paying attention, that we are an individual, vibrational, spiritual being that always has the attention of the universe. There's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. There's no privacy when it comes to the detection of the vibration our thoughts are emitting. They're out there. There's no free ride when it comes to experiencing the results of our thought choices, even when we're not paying attention to what we're choosing. I mean, how often do we take time to consider what we're putting out vibrationally through our thoughts? If we did, there would be a whole lot of scratch that, as we noticed, as we realized that we didn't want to see that particular thought in the flesh. We didn't want to meet it in person, in some physical form or experience in our body. Abraham Hicks tells us you're picky about the car you drive. You're picky about what you wear. You're picky about what you put in your mouth. Be pickier about what you think. It's also good for us to be picky about the vibrations we join with in conversations with others, because ain't that the truth? Is an agreement that can go a long way in attracting to us experiences we don't want. That we live, even in this human environment, in a vibrational universe of unseen spiritual energy, isn't a fantasy or something to take lightly or to ignore. And it's not something only acknowledged as real and metaphysical and spiritual teachings. I read this on the National Library of Medicine website. Vibrations are all around us. We can detect vibrations with sensitive skin mechanoreceptors, but our conscious awareness of the presence of vibrations is often limited. Nevertheless, vibrations play a role in our everyday life. That's an endorsement from the AMA. How often do we get that? Or at least a medical group we often think of as not taking seriously the non-physical aspects of health and well-being. We could say that whether we want to argue the fact about the power of vibrations, or if we want to put a but in it, as if there's some time when it's not true, there's no buts about it on any level. It's accepted scientifically and medically as well as spiritually that we're vibrational beings and that we have an effect on our health and our relationships and the world we live in every day, every day. Now, if you were to summarize your own individual experience of the month of July, if you were to encapsulate it and how it seemed to you, I mean, in a nutshell, what would you say? And I'll just say we'll take a minute or two just to breathe and think about that. How did this month seem? If you were to reflect on it, how did it seem? Would you say July seemed to me very much like ... or not very much like ... Because only we can fill in the blank for ourselves. We know how this month seemed to us. For example, because we were consciously aware this month of the thoughts we held in our mind, let's just say we were that. And we intentionally focused on positive thoughts, or we quieted our mind altogether so that we felt happy and peaceful and relaxed most of the time. And even if we had a down moment or two when we said or did something we wished we hadn't, or didn't say or do something we wished we had, all in all, when you think about it, when you feel for it within you, how did July seem to you? And maybe you spent a lot of time thinking about things and overthinking things in your personal life or in the world that caused you to feel anxious or frustrated or unhappy most of the time. But then you noticed. And that noticing is important because when we notice, we can make a decision. And you decided to intentionally focus on better feeling thoughts because you wanted to feel better. And right now, as you sit here, as you listen, you're expecting a pretty good August. Or what was your first thought? When I asked that question, don't ask me, I wasn't paying attention. I know I was thinking, probably thought a lot, but I don't know what I was thinking about. Ever go through a day when it seemed like you were just on automatic pilot? Not really aware of much, and then at the end of the day you wondered what happened to the day and you in it? If we're not paying attention to our life as we're living it, it could be said that we're not actually experiencing life at all. Oh, it's happening, we're just not experiencing it. Yet, even when we're unaware of our life as we're living it, the universe is still aware that we're living our life. Even our unintentional thoughts send a vibrational beam like a prayer into the vibrations of the universe, the holy divine energy of God that always, always says yes to us. Every moment of every day, what we think and how we feel becomes part of the vibrational record of our life and creates a trend that is either bringing more and more unwanted or more and more wanted into our life experiences. It happens, whether we're ready or not. So it seems a really good idea for us to pay attention to how we're trending. I mean, if it seems that things just work out for us, that there's good outcomes here and there, no matter what seemed to be, it always turns out great, then let's keep thinking what we're thinking and feeling what we're feeling. And if it seems to us that our life is full of problems most of the time, if we're paying attention to the way our life is trending, if it's gotten our attention, then we can make some mental changes and turn the trend around. But it requires our attention. If we're not paying attention to our life, to what's happening as it's happening, if we're not willing to reflect on the life that we're living, we're likely to be unpleasantly surprised at the unwanted experiences we're attracting. Now, I was told years ago that I should try not to use the word but, that I should use the word and instead. And so I tried it for a while. But it seemed to me that but is often really, really appropriate. In fact, my talks are full of buts. This one is. Now, the word but means to the contrary. It means yet, except. In this world of this and that, but can go either way. It can get in the way of our free self-expression, or it can help us see life differently. In other words, it can stop us or help us. For example, if we'd like to do something fun and exciting or different in our life, a but can often stop us in our tracks, especially if that but is followed by I can't because. And we can always fill in all the reasons and excuses. But on the other hand, but can be a call for us to pause and think about what was just said and see things differently. For example, there are conditions in this world, as we all know, that if we look at them and focus on them and interpret them according to their appearances, it can cause us to feel anxious and fearful and even spiritually doubtful. But as spiritual beings, having this human experience, we've been given the freedom to pause anytime we want and see something in a different way. We can change our focus. We can look beyond the obvious. There's a whole lot more beyond the obvious or what appears physically. And we can seek inside ourselves to feel vibrationally the world we want to see. And if we do, we'll discover for ourselves that it's true that vibrations play a role in our everyday life, and we can change our thinking, and as we do, it changes our vibrations, and that change will affect what we experience because vibrations have an effect on what we attract into our experience. We can prove it for ourselves. I mean, it's not a bad assignment to just think about, spend a whole day thinking good thoughts. Spend a whole day being happy no matter what. Just decide, today I'm going to be happy. It just doesn't matter. And watch what happens. Now the word "and" is a pretty good word too, because it allows movement. It flows. It literally means in addition to, plus. In the spiritual oneness we share, there's not a but anywhere. Life flows because there's no opposition to the allness that is all good. There's nothing contrary or opposing it. And it is the only true vibration that is present everywhere, all the time. And that presence is always wanting to become more and more through us and into the world. The divine source energy of life, the power that creates worlds, lives in us. It lives as us. And it flows to us without end. There really is no stopping it. There's no stopping it, and there's no stopping point within it. Even when we're not paying attention, it's still flowing. And spiritually, there's no stopping us, or there's no stopping point in us. All that's required of us anytime is not to struggle. It's just to step aside, to get our butt out of the way and allow life to flow through us. There's nothing small about any of us. We are a spiritual plus size. And we are created to express ourselves and expand our awareness forever. We are a flow point in the universe that is expanding and expanding and expanding. And as we open to it, we allow the world to become, to us, more and more beautiful. Through our positive vibrational offerings, we become the presence of love, of joy, of peace on earth. Abraham Hicks tells us, you are not here to bring light into the world. You are here to be light. And everywhere you be is lighter. We can say this day, with the power of the universe backing us as we say it, there's no buts about it. I am a spiritual being, and we can let the doneness for us be done through us, as us. Namaste. All righty. Well, I'm not going to tell you how to support LEC because our Dr. Jamie is here, but I am going to say thank you first. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being wherever you are. Thank you for being in the world. We all came in here together. A lot of times when I'm walking with my friend, when somebody passes us as we walk, we like to say, hi again. And they don't know if we saw them once as we were going around, but what we really mean is we all know each other. So you can say hi again, even if you hadn't seen that person on your walk. So hi again. and again and again and again. And we are so grateful for your loving support. We are truly a miracle that we are still here. And we want to be here as LEC, because LEC has a beautiful message. And that message is love. We want all of you who join us every Sunday to be with us as our community, to grow with us, to expand with us. And so we're grateful that you are here right now to be with us here and now. So if you're wondering how you can support LEC as we make some extraordinary changes in our physicality, then our treasurer, Dr. Jamie Phillips, is here to tell you how.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, here's how you can support Life Enrichment Center. If you're here, we're going to be doing an offertory. If you are online or watching this online at some point during the week, you can go to facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center and hit the donate button. You can donate via PayPal. Our email address for PayPal is lec2512@gmail.com. We have a donate button on our website, lecflint.com. Just go there and hit the donate button. Or you can always send a check into the church, our new P.O. box. I can't send it into the church, but to our P.O. box. It's Life Enrichment Center, P.O. Box 321-294, Flint, Michigan 48532. And while we do this here in the sanctuary, as offertory gratitude receiver to come forward, we're going to listen to a beautiful voice of Marcia Allen, Pat Cronley, and Nick Calandro singing I Am Blessed. Thank you.